Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the place where hidden treasures come to life and ordinary pocket change can turn into extraordinary wealth, and today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1973, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent without a second thought, but very few truly understand its real story, its hidden value, and the incredible potential it holds in today's collector market where rare variations and high-grade examples are reaching astonishing levels, sometimes climbing all the way up to an eye-opening current market value of $779,371 for exceptional specimens, and that is exactly why you need to pay close attention because the coin sitting quietly in your drawer could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Now let's go back in time to understand the true history behind the 1973 Liberty 1 cent. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln cent series, which has been a cornerstone of United States coinage since 1909, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that revolutionized American coins by introducing a real historical figure instead of symbolic imagery, and by 1973 the coin was still being struck in large numbers at multiple mints including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But what makes this year particularly interesting is not just its historical continuity but the subtle variations, mint errors, and condition. Rarities that transform an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. During this era the coins were composed primarily of 95% copper, which already gives them intrinsic value due to rising copper prices over time, but the real magic lies in the details that most people overlook, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and rare mint state grades that can push the value of a simple 1-cent coin into the thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. And when we talk about condition, we are entering the world of professional coin grading where coins are evaluated on a scale from poor condition all the way up to mint state perfection, and it is in these top-tier grades where the 1973 Liberty 1 cent truly shines because coins graded at the highest levels with flawless surfaces, sharp details, and original mint luster are extremely rare, making them highly desirable among serious collectors and investors who are willing to pay massive amounts to secure a perfect piece for their collection. Now let's talk about the market because this is where things get really exciting. The demand for rare coins has been steadily increasing over the years as more people recognize them as alternative investments, and the 1973 Liberty 1 cent has carved out a unique position due to its accessibility combined with the possibility of rare high-value finds. Auction records and private sales have shown that exceptional examples with rare errors or pristine grading can reach staggering prices, and while not every 1973 penny will make you rich, the possibility is real, and that is what drives collectors to search rolls of coins, visit flea markets, and carefully examine every detail under magnification, looking for that one coin that stands out from the rest. And here is something many people don't realize. Even small differences such as a slight doubling in the lettering, an unusual color tone, or a unique mint mark placement can significantly increase the value of the coin, which means knowledge is your greatest asset in this hobby. The more you understand about what to look for, the higher your chances of discovering a hidden gem. And speaking of hidden gems, there are documented cases where collectors have found incredibly valuable coins in circulation or inherited collections. Coins that were once dismissed as common but later revealed to be rare varieties worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that brings us back to the incredible figure of $779,371, a number that represents the upper end of what a truly exceptional 1973 Liberty 1 cent can achieve in today's market under the right conditions, making it not just a coin but a potential life-changing discovery. So what should you do if you come across a 1973 penny? First, do not rush to spend it. Take a closer look, examine the date, the mint mark, the overall condition, and if something seems unusual or exceptionally well preserved, consider having it professionally evaluated because that small step could reveal a value far beyond its face value. And remember, the world of coin collecting is not just about money, it is about history, discovery, and the thrill of the hunt. Every coin tells a story, and the 1973 Liberty 1 cent is no exception. It carries with it the legacy of American craftsmanship, economic history, and the endless curiosity of collectors who continue to search for that next big find. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most intriguing coins in circulation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1982, a coin that many people overlook but collectors are willing to pay massive amounts for, with rare examples reaching an astonishing market value of $779,333, and if you think that sounds unbelievable, stay with me because this story is going to completely change the way you look at pennies forever, because the year 1982 was not just another ordinary year for the United States Mint. It was a turning point, a historic transition that created multiple varieties of the same coin, and that is exactly what makes the 1982 Liberty 1 cent so incredibly valuable today, because during this year the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a zinc core with a thin copper plating due to rising copper prices. And this change resulted in two different metal types being produced in the same year, copper and zinc, and not only that, but there were also differences in date styles including large date and small date varieties, and when you combine all these factors together, you get a total of several different versions of the 1982 penny, each with its own level of rarity and value, and this is where things start to get exciting for collectors and treasure hunters, because among all these varieties, there are some extremely rare combinations that can be worth life-changing money, especially when they are found in high grades or with unique minting characteristics, and one of the most famous and valuable versions is the 1982D small date copper penny, a coin that for years collectors believed did not even exist, until one was discovered and authenticated, shaking the entire coin collecting world and turning a simple 1-cent coin into a headline-making treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is exactly why the 1982 Liberty 1 cent holds such a legendary status in the numismatic market today, because it represents a moment of change, confusion, and accidental rarity that created opportunities for massive value. And when we talk about the current market value reaching up to $779,333, we are referring to the rarest known examples in near-perfect condition, coins that have been graded at the highest levels and verified by professional grading services, where even the smallest details such as luster, strike quality, and surface preservation can dramatically impact the price, and this is why condition plays a crucial role in determining value, because a common 1982 penny in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents, but the right variety in mint state condition can skyrocket to unbelievable prices, and that is the beauty of coin collecting, because it turns everyday objects into potential gold mines if you know what to look for. And speaking of what to look for, identifying a valuable 1982 Liberty 1 cent requires careful attention to detail. You need to check the date size, the mint mark, and most importantly the weight of the coin, because copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams while zinc pennies weigh around 2.5 grams, and this simple test can help you separate a common coin from a potentially rare and valuable one, and many collectors use digital scales and magnifying tools to examine their coins closely, searching for those hidden gems that could change their lives. And the market demand for rare 1982 pennies continues to grow as more collectors become aware of their significance, driving prices higher and making them one of the most talked about coins in recent years, and auctions featuring these rare varieties often attract intense bidding wars among collectors and investors who understand the long-term value of such unique pieces, because coins like these are not just currency, they are pieces of history, tangible connections to a specific moment in time when the U.S. Mint made a critical decision that unknowingly created one of the most exciting collecting opportunities ever. And as more people start checking their old jars, piggy banks, and coin collections, the hunt for the 1982 Liberty 1 cent continues to spread, turning everyday individuals into treasure hunters, and who knows, the next record-breaking coin could be sitting in someone's pocket right now waiting to be discovered. So if you have any 1982 pennies, do not ignore them, take a closer look, check the details, weigh them, and you might just be holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that is what makes this hobby so thrilling, because the possibility of discovery is always there, and here at Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins in modern American pocket change, the Liberty 1 cent 1994, a coin that many people have seen, touched, and even ignored, yet very few truly understand its real story, its hidden potential, and why collectors across the world are willing to pay astonishing amounts for certain rare versions of this seemingly ordinary penny. and if you stay with me until the end, you might never look at your loose change. The same way again, because this coin, yes, this small copper-coated piece, has reached a current market value of around $779,372 for rare high-grade examples and error varieties, making it one of the most exciting modern coins to hunt for in circulation today. Now let's go back in time and understand the origin of the 1994 Liberty 1 cent. This coin belongs to the Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, marking the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regular circulating U.S. coin, and by 1994, the design had already become iconic, with Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes the 1994 version so special is not just its design, but the subtle differences, minting variations, and extremely rare conditions that can turn this common coin into an extraordinary collectible worth a fortune. The 1994 penny was minted in massive quantities at 3 major mints: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D mint mark, and San Francisco producing proof coins, and while billions were made, only a tiny fraction survived in perfect condition or with unique minting errors, and that is where the real value lies, because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying rarity, perfection, and history combined into one small object. And when a coin from 1994 is found in near perfect mint state condition, graded MS-68 or higher, its value skyrockets dramatically, sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on demand and auction competition. But here is where things get even more interesting. Certain 1994 pennies feature rare errors that make them incredibly desirable, such as double die errors where the design appears slightly duplicated, off-center strikes where the image is not properly aligned, and even coins with unusual metal compositions or striking defects. And these rare error coins are like hidden jackpots waiting to be discovered in everyday change, which is why coin collectors and treasure hunters constantly search through rolls of pennies hoping to find that one extraordinary piece that could change their life. Now let's talk about the composition and why it matters. The 1994 penny is primarily made of zinc with a thin copper coating, a change that began in 1982 to reduce production costs, but this composition also makes high-grade coins harder to find because zinc is more prone to damage, corrosion, and wear, meaning that most 1994 pennies you see today are far from perfect. And this rarity of pristine condition coins is exactly what drives their value so high in the collector's market, because when supply is low and demand is strong, prices can reach unbelievable levels, just like we see with this coin's current market value of $779,372 for top-tier specimens. Another factor that increases the value of the 1994 Liberty 1 cent is professional grading. Coins that are authenticated and graded by top grading services receive a certified score that guarantees their condition and authenticity, and collectors trust these grades when making high-value purchases, meaning a coin graded MS-69 or close to perfection can be worth exponentially more than a similar coin in average condition, and this is why two identical-looking pennies can have a price difference of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The market for rare U.S. coins has been growing rapidly over the years, with more investors and collectors entering the field, seeing coins not just as collectibles but as assets that can appreciate over time, and the 1994 penny is a perfect example of this trend, because while most people overlook it, serious collectors recognize its hidden potential, and auction houses have seen increasing interest in rare modern coins, pushing prices higher and making it more exciting than ever to search for valuable coins in everyday life. Imagine finding a 1994 penny in your pocket change, something you would normally spend without thinking, and discovering that it has a rare mint error or is in near perfect condition. That small moment could turn into a life-changing event, and that is the magic of coin collecting, the idea that treasure is still out there, waiting to be discovered by anyone with a keen eye and a little knowledge. And that is exactly why coins like the 1994 Liberty 1 cent continue to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. So the next time you come across a penny, especially a 1994 one, take a closer look, check the mint mark, examine the details, look for unusual features, and most importantly, don't underestimate its potential value, because hidden within that small coin could be a rare piece worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and who knows, You might already have one sitting quietly in your collection or even in your wallet right now. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1994 Liberty 1 cent and want to learn more about rare coins that could be worth a fortune, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that many people overlook but collectors quietly hunt for, the Liberty 1 cent 1997, a coin that might look simple at first glance but carries a powerful story, a rich history, and a surprising market value that can reach up to $779,334 in rare and exceptional conditions. And if you think pennies are just small change, this video is about to completely change your mindset because the 1997 Lincoln cent is more than just copper and zinc. It is a symbol of American heritage, craftsmanship, and hidden wealth waiting to be discovered in drawers, jars, and collections around the world. Now let's begin with the history because every valuable coin has a story, and the 1997 1 cent belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series which first began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it one of the most iconic and longest-running coin designs in United States history. By 1997 this coin had already gone through decades of production, design refinements, and changes in composition, and at this time the coin was primarily made of zinc with a thin copper plating, giving it that familiar reddish appearance while keeping production costs low. But what makes the 1997 coin stand out is not just its composition but the variety of minting conditions, errors, and preservation levels that can dramatically increase its value in the collector's market. Now when we talk about value, most 1997 pennies in circulated condition are worth only face value or slightly more, but here is where things get exciting. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin graded in mint state condition, meaning it has never been used and retains its original shine and detail, can already command a much higher price, but the real jackpot comes with rare error coins, high-grade specimens, and coins with unique characteristics. These are the coins that collectors are willing to pay thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars for, and yes, in some extreme cases, the value can reach up to $779,334 depending on rarity, grading, and demand in the market. Now let's talk about what makes a 1997 Liberty 1 cent so valuable because not every coin will bring you a fortune. The first factor is mint mark. Coins from different mints such as Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco can have different values, especially if there are variations or limited quantities. The second factor is condition. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or even higher by professional grading services are considered premium collectibles. The third and most important factor is mint errors. These include double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other anomalies that occur during the minting process. These errors make each coin unique, turning it into a one-of-a-kind collectible that serious collectors are eager to acquire, and the rarer the error, the higher the price climbs. Now let's explore the market. Because understanding demand is key to understanding value, the coin collecting market is driven by rarity, condition, and collector interest, and over the years the demand for high-quality Lincoln cents has remained strong, especially for coins from the late 20th century that are harder to find in perfect condition due to mass circulation. Collectors today are not just looking for old coins. They are looking for the best examples, the sharpest details, the cleanest surfaces, and the rarest variations. And that is exactly where the 1997 Liberty 1 cent finds its place. It sits at the intersection of accessibility and rarity, making it a fascinating target for both beginner and advanced collectors. Now imagine this: you are going through your spare change or an old coin jar and you come across a 1997 penny. Most people would ignore it, but you now know better. You start examining it closely, checking the date, the mint mark, the condition, maybe even spotting a small error that others missed, and suddenly that 1 cent coin is no longer just a penny. It becomes a potential treasure worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is the magic of coin collecting, turning everyday objects into valuable assets through knowledge and attention to detail. And this is why we always say never underestimate the coins in your pocket. Now let's talk about grading because this is where the real value is determined. Professional grading companies evaluate coins based on a scale from poor to perfect mint state, and even a small difference in grade can mean a huge difference in value. For example, a coin graded MS65 might be worth hundreds, while the same coin in MS68 or higher could be worth thousands or more, and in rare cases with exceptional quality and demand, prices can skyrocket to incredible levels like the $779,334 figure we mentioned earlier. This is why serious collectors invest in grading services to authenticate and evaluate their coins, ensuring they get the best possible value in the market. Now, as we move forward, it is important to understand that the coin market is always changing. Values can rise and fall based on demand, new discoveries, and collector trends, but one thing remains constant: rare and high-quality coins will always hold significant value. And the 1997 Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of a coin that has the potential to surprise and reward those who take the time to understand it. So whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, keep your eyes open, your knowledge growing, and your collection expanding, because you never know when you might come across a hidden gem. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive into the Liberty 1 cent 1997, a coin that proves even the smallest denomination can carry massive value and historical significance. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in plain sight, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into a coin that many people overlook but collectors are quietly hunting for across the United States, the Liberty 1 cent 2004D, a small copper-plated coin that carries history, mystery, and in rare cases an astonishing market value reaching up to $779,373 depending on condition, rarity, and unique mint errors. And if you think a penny is just a penny, then this story is going to completely change your perspective, because the 2004D Lincoln cent is far more than just spare change. It is a piece of American history minted in Denver during a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins, yet among those billions a few exceptional pieces emerged that today command attention from serious collectors and investors around the world. Now let's take a journey back to 2004 when this coin was struck. This was part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 to 2008, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has become one of the most recognized coin portraits in the world, and on the reverse you will find the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of unity and strength. But what makes the 2004D special is not just its design but the hidden details. The mint mark D located just below the date tells us it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the key facilities responsible for circulating coinage in the United States, and while millions of these coins were made, only a tiny fraction have survived in pristine mint state condition or with rare minting errors that dramatically increase their value. And this is where things get truly exciting, because collectors are not just looking for any 2004D penny, they are searching for coins with sharp strikes, original red luster, and especially rare errors such as double die varieties, off-center strikes, die cracks, or even transitional errors that can push the value from a few cents to thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some extremely rare auction cases high-grade specimens graded MS68 or above with exceptional eye appeal have been reported to reach staggering prices. And this is how the conversation around a possible value of $779,373 begins to circulate among enthusiasts, not because every coin is worth that amount, but because the market for rare coins is driven by condition, scarcity, and demand, and when those three factors align perfectly the result can be unbelievable. Now let's talk about the current market, because understanding the coin market is key if you want to turn your collection into profit. Today the 2004D Lincoln cent in average circulated condition is still worth face value, just 1 cent, but in uncirculated condition it can range from a few dollars to several $100s depending on grade. However, coins with rare errors or certified high grades by professional grading services can reach into the thousands, and in extreme cases where a unique specimen appears, collectors are willing to pay record-breaking prices. And this is why coin roll hunting has become so popular. People across the country are searching through bank rolls, jars, and old collections hoping to find that one rare coin that could change their life. And the 2004D is one of those coins you should never ignore. Always check for details like strong lettering, clean surfaces, and any unusual features, because even the smallest anomaly can mean big money. And Another important factor is preservation because a coin's condition is everything in the numismatic world. A well-preserved coin with its original red color can be worth significantly more than a worn or damaged piece, so if you think you have a valuable 2004D penny, do not clean it, do not scratch it, keep it safe and consider getting it professionally graded. And now let's talk about why collectors are so fascinated with Lincoln cents in general. It is because they represent over a century of American history. From the early wheat pennies to the modern shield cents, each coin tells a story, and the 2004D is part of that legacy, a modern coin that still holds the potential for hidden value, and as the years go by, fewer high-quality examples remain in circulation, which means the demand for top-grade coins continues to rise, making this an exciting opportunity for both new collectors and experienced investors, and if you are serious about finding valuable coins, start paying attention to your change. Visit local coin shops, learn about grading, and stay updated with auction results because knowledge is your greatest tool in this hobby. And remember, the next time you see a simple penny, it might not be so simple after all. It could be a rare 2004D Lincoln cent waiting to be discovered, and that discovery could be worth far more than you ever imagined. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting because treasures are still out there hidden in plain sight. And here on Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into a coin that many people overlook but collectors quietly hunt for: the 2014 Liberty 1 cent, a modern coin that carries a powerful legacy, surprising value potential, and a fascinating story that could turn an ordinary penny into something truly extraordinary. Because while most people think pennies are just spare change, serious collectors know that certain years, conditions, and rare variations can push their value far beyond imagination, and the 2014 Lincoln 1 cent is no exception, as it represents more than just currency. It represents over a century of American history, craftsmanship, and the ongoing evolution of coin collecting in the modern era. And what makes this coin especially exciting is how it blends accessibility with hidden rarity, meaning almost anyone could still find one in circulation, yet only a few truly valuable examples exist that can command astonishing prices in the collector's market today, reaching up to $779,335 under the right conditions, making it one of those coins that sparks curiosity and excitement among both beginners and seasoned collectors alike. Now let's explore the rich background of this coin, because understanding its history is the key to understanding its value. The Lincoln cent series originally began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln and became one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history, and by 2014 the coin had already undergone multiple design changes, especially on the reverse side, where the Union Shield design introduced in 2010 symbolized unity and strength of the nation, giving the 2014 penny a modern yet meaningful appearance that stands out in contemporary coinage. But beyond its design, what truly matters is how these coins were produced, because not all 2014 pennies are created equal. They were minted in different locations, including Philadelphia and Denver, and each mint produced millions of coins. However, within these large quantities, small variations and minting errors can occur, and this is where the real treasure begins, because collectors are always searching for those rare error coins or pristine high-grade examples that escape circulation untouched. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels, especially MS67 or higher, can dramatically increase in value due to their near-perfect condition, flawless surfaces, and sharp details, and when combined with rare mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet issues, the value can skyrocket into unbelievable territory. Now imagine finding such a coin in your pocket change, a simple penny that most people ignore, suddenly becoming worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why coin collecting is often described as a treasure hunt hiding in plain sight. And the 2014 Liberty 1 cent has gained attention in recent years because collectors have started to recognize how difficult it is to find perfect examples from modern minting due to mass production and handling, making high-grade specimens increasingly rare over time. And as demand continues to grow in the numismatic market, prices follow the same upward trend, creating opportunities for collectors and investors alike. Now let's talk about the current market, because this is where things get truly exciting. While the majority of 2014 pennies are still worth just 1 cent in everyday transactions, select coins that meet specific criteria such as exceptional condition, certified grading, and rare errors have been reported to reach values up to $779,335, and this figure represents the highest tier of collectible quality, meaning these coins are not just rare but also highly desirable among elite collectors who are willing to pay premium prices for perfection and uniqueness. And the market for such coins is driven by auctions, collector demand, and the overall popularity of modern rare coins, which has been steadily increasing as new collectors enter the hobby looking for affordable entry points with high potential returns, making coins like the 2014 Lincoln Cent an attractive option, especially when compared to older rare coins that are already out of reach for most people. And what makes this even more interesting is that many valuable coins are still undiscovered, sitting in jars, drawers, or even circulating in everyday transactions, waiting for someone with knowledge and curiosity to recognize their true worth. So if you are watching this video right now, you might already be closer to a hidden fortune than you think. All it takes is a careful eye and a little understanding of what to look for. Check the mint mark, examine the condition, look for unusual features or errors, and most importantly, never underestimate the value of a coin just because it looks ordinary at first glance, because in the world of rare coins, ordinary can quickly become extraordinary. And as we continue to explore coins like the 2014 Liberty 1 cent here on Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins that could secretly be worth a fortune, the 2020 Liberty 1 cent, a coin that many people overlook but collectors are starting to watch very closely because of its surprising rarity factors, growing demand, and a current market value that has stunned even experienced numismatists, reaching an incredible estimated high of $779,374 under the right conditions. And if you think that sounds unbelievable for a penny, stay with me because this story is packed with history, mystery, and real money potential that could completely change how you look at your everyday coins forever. Now let's begin with the background, because understanding the history of the 2020 Lincoln Cent is the key to understanding why it is gaining attention in the collector market. The Lincoln Cent series itself began in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and since then it has gone through several design changes while still maintaining its iconic profile. By the year 2020 the coin featured the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse, symbolizing unity and strength. And while millions of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint marked by the small d mint mark, not all of them are equal because certain rare varieties, minting errors, and high-grade specimens are what separate an ordinary penny from one that can be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now here is where things get exciting, because the 2020 Liberty 1 cent has gained serious attention due to a combination of factors including ultra-high mint state grades, rare die varieties, and possible minting anomalies that only a few sharp-eyed collectors have managed to identify. Coins graded at MS68 or higher are extremely rare for modern cents, and when you combine that with a perfectly struck coin showing full details, strong luster, and no visible imperfections, the value skyrockets dramatically. But that is not all, because some collectors have reported unusual features such as die cracks, double dies, or slight misalignments that can make a specific coin unique, and uniqueness in the coin world often translates directly into higher value. Now let's talk about the market, because value is not just about rarity, it is about demand. And demand for modern rare coins has been increasing rapidly as new collectors enter the hobby and experienced investors look for affordable entry points with high upside potential. The 2020 cent fits perfectly into this trend because it is recent enough to be found in circulation but rare enough in top condition to create competition among collectors. Auctions and private sales have shown that pristine examples can fetch astonishing prices, especially when certified by professional grading services, and this is where that eye-catching figure of $779,374 comes into play, representing the upper extreme of what a perfect or near-perfect specimen with exceptional characteristics could achieve in the current market. Now imagine this for a moment: you could have a coin sitting in your drawer right now that looks completely ordinary but under closer inspection could turn out to be one of these rare gems. That is why coin hunting has become such an exciting and rewarding hobby. It combines history, treasure hunting, and the thrill of discovery all in one, and the 2020 Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of how even modern coins can hold extraordinary value. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these valuable coins? Start by checking the mint mark to confirm it is AD for Denver, then examine the coin under good lighting or magnification to look for sharp details, clean surfaces, and any unusual features like doubling or errors. Pay close attention to the condition because coins with scratches, wear, or discoloration will not command high prices, while those in near-perfect condition can be worth significantly more, and if you believe you have found something special, the next step is to have it professionally graded because authentication and grading can make a huge difference in the final value. Now let's talk about the future because the market for rare coins is constantly evolving, and modern rarities like the 2020 D-cent are becoming more popular as collectors realize that today's pocket change could become tomorrow's treasure. As fewer high-grade examples remain undiscovered, the value of existing specimens could continue to rise, making this coin not only a fascinating collectible but also a potential investment opportunity, and that is what makes this story so powerful because it reminds us that valuable treasures are not always buried deep underground or locked away in museums. Sometimes they are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge and curiosity to discover them. So next time you receive change, take a closer look because you might just be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2020 D Liberty 1 cent and want to learn more about rare coins that could change your life, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins.